Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hi,
Hello.
hi Sharon, hi Edgar, welcome.
Hi.
How have you guys been?
We're good.
Okay, so guys, for those of you all joining in on Facebook and YouTube, this is Sharon and Hector. They are the authors of I Love You Because I Love You. And would you all like to tell us about the book?
Well, the our book first and foremost, hello to everyone being who are in this channel. We're kind of nervous. This is our first time doing this, so well, about the book, it's about our experiences as autism parents, and
Okay,
it is the culmination of almost 8 years of experience with our kid as we raised our son who has autism. It tells us about it narrates our experiences in line with the techniques that we used as the things that we learned, the things that we did, we experimented on, the things that we employed to help our son overcome his difficulties. And so far, uh, with our initial wish of only being able to hear him speak, I think we've gone a long way using those learnings that we had. And all of
that's
those are found
lovely.
in the book.
Okay, so
We
yeah,
don't have
Sharon.
the physical copy of the book yet, so you can. I think you can see, no. It. I have a copy from Ukiyosk. Um.
Okay. Oh,
Yes, I have a
lovely.
copy from Ukiyosk, but we don't have the physical copy of the book. But our friends already told us that they got the book from Amazon, and thank you very
That's
much.
lovely.
Thank you very much.
So there is a comparison of family mechanics of neurotypical kids and kids with autism. You touched on that a little bit in the blurb of your book. Can you speak on that a little more?
Neurotypical kids means that they are the kids in the the societal norms. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is the term for the normal kids, and the neurotypical kids are different from kids with autism. Kids with autism have this sensory issues that are heightened by their condition. So here at home, it is our common challenge. Like for instance, our son has hypersensitivity to sounds. So here at
Okay.
home, we don't we don't watch television. We don't watch television at first,
Okay. Oh my.
but we didn't watch television. But now we can watch the television shows that he wants, like K drama,
Okay.
because he can read the uh, the subtitles, and he
Okay.
doesn't like to for us to laugh or to converse loudly. So it's really challenging. And when we talk, we whisper to one another so that he could not be affected by the sounds. And also,
Okay.
um, our life as an autism family is different from the life of the families with kids with neurotypical kids. And aside from that,
Uh, the idea of the comparison is simply that in a family with neurotypical kids, meaning normal kids, meaning they are within within the normal spectrum of behavior, is that they can easily adapt to normal circumstances like stimuli
Okay.
coming from
Yes.
different sources, let's say from noises, coming from television inputs, any stimuli that will stimulate their interest or that may catch their attention, maybe can be how to say it, processed normally by neurotypical kids. But for kids with autism, the hypersensitivity to sensorial inputs creates an environment wherein the people around the kid with autism has to adjust, because he will not
Yeah.
adjust. He will
Yes.
learn the behavior, but he might not adjust. So because the problem is, kids with autism they are in their own world. They are not
Yeah.
part of our world, so they have their own uh, place where they exist. And for us adults, for us people living with him, we have to enter it.
Yeah.
Neurotypical kids, they don't need that because they can easily interact with everyone. But for
True.
kids with autism, they would usually, well, don't mind us. So what we did was, we have to find a way on how we can enter into that world and process the information. And then what we did was, we pulled him out of that world so that he may be able to see what it's like to be with us.
Okay.
That's technically how the difference between neurotypical and kids with autism, the processing of inputs.
At first,
Mm.
it was difficult for us to figure out that
Of course.
that should be done.
Yeah.
And it was really challenging on our end. But eventually, when we discovered that it was the right thing to do, that we should enter to the autistic kids' world, that's the time that the magic happened. We were able to, yes, we were able to
It
communicate
was
with
like
him.
meeting him halfway over there.
Yes, yes. And we didn't even force him to have eye contact with us, because we learned from a teenager that we watched in YouTube that when we force those kids with autism to have eye contact with us, they get pressured. So what we did was, we just waited for our son to get ready to have an eye contact with us, and then we didn't even force him, right, Pops?
Wait, let me just straighten things out first. It may sound easy
But
when we are talking like this, when we're saying like, we did this technique, we did that strategy. No, it's
No,
not.
no, no. If it can help someone else, then definitely please share.
It's not easy.
it took us
It
years.
took us years.
Yeah,
It's a
that's what.
lot of experimentations. The process is tedious. It's a lot of we had so much frustrations. We do get angry, we do get embarrassed, but our goal, our dream of having that simple conversation with our son made us search more, uh, do more things, learn more things for him. It's if I may, that's the reason why when your publishing company contacted us to write a book, we were thinking, oh, so we can use our experience so that many of the parents who had the same frustrations that
Yeah,
we had will be might be able to learn. It might give them some, like, a glimpse of hope at the end of the tunnel, something like that, because it's a
exactly.
lifelong process.
So, once again, you did mention societal norms in correlation to the family mechanics. So, how is that affected?
uh, you see, in every culture, probably in every culture, there are things that are expected of a family. There's an image painted by the people living in that society, sharing that culture. In Of course, in Filipino society, there is the ideal Filipino setup that they are wherein both parents are within the family. They have these bonding moments. They eat out, probably they enjoy things together, and then of course kids will go to school, will probably be the best schools within the area, and then they will be growing up. It's things like that. But in a in our family, in an autism family, it's not like that. Why? Because the needs of the kid with autism has to conform with the way the family does things. But the problem is, kids with autism might not conform with the ideal kid that we know. Example, my son back then, he would roll on the floor of this on the supermarket. Example, there are like 12 cashiers. And then and from cashier 1 up to cashier number 10, he would roll back and forth. And I have to follow him. I have to endure the stares, the embarrassment
Yes.
coming from the remarks of people. I have to we have to endure all of those things. At first we were so embarrassed because your kid is rolling on the floor, he's shouting at the top of his lungs, and then suddenly people would notice, people would pass by you, and then they would sometimes you would hear remarks, nasty remarks. It's embarrassing, but along the process, along the way, when we started learning about him, we learned how to deal with it up until the point that it became the people around us started learning about it, and they too learned about how to handle it, and they became more
Open.
open, more accepting of who he is. So they became a part of our how do you say it, environment, our immediate environment, where our son became a mainstay. So it helped him to 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 be with us, to be with this environment. It helped him to open up.
Yeah. So that's the good thing about a book like this. It doesn't only help parents such as yourselves, it educates other people on this as well.
Thank you. Um, may I add to what Hector said? I'm currently studying my masteral degree in special education, and my professor told me that when people stare at your son, when people see something nasty about your son, don't focus on them. You focus on your son. You have to focus on who he is and not what he does. And then never
Yeah.
mind what people are going to say about him. Just focus on your son and don't lose that focus. And always love your son. Because at the end of the day, that love that comes from your family will bring out the best in him. And that's what we
True.
do until now. And we're surprised because many people are very accepting. When we open up our world to other people, they say that, oh, um, your family is beautiful. It doesn't matter if your son has autism, as long as you love him, as long as you're there for him. We're
That's
also
what matters.
Yeah, that's what matters, and we will be more understanding, and we will be there for you too. Many people are so accepting, and we're very happy, and that adds to our son's confidence.
That's
Uh,
lovely.
I'd like to add, Miss, when you use societal norms, there are people expect things from a family.
Yes.
Example, like for me as a dad, whenever I spoke, whenever I meet with my friends, sometimes they would say, "Oh, bro, uh, can your son play basketball?" Something like that. My son doesn't even want to touch the ball. He doesn't even want to see the ball. How much more to play basketball? Uh, there are expectations, but
There are.
what we learned as parents is that we don't have to conform with those stereotypes. We can make our own. I
Yeah.
told myself as a dad, uh, if I cannot fulfill those dreams that a father dreams of doing with the kids, I might as well make another one. So what we did was we asked them what do you want to do, and that's when we
Okay.
found out that he wants to do things.
Yes.
So what we did was, if he doesn't want to play basketball, he wants to play Roblox. let me play Roblox. I have to learn Roblox. My wife has to create an account,
Even though
Roblox
I
account.
don't know how to play Roblox, I
She
really
has to play Roblox.
You learn.
I have to play Roblox. My son has to play Roblox. We have to enter into the game where my son with autism where he is playing, and then we have to interact within the game. Imagine we're just sitting beside each other, and yet we're talking inside the game. We're not talking like this, like we're not
yeah.
conversing. We're conversing within the game. And before long, she started to open up more.
Yes.
She's like, "Oh, it's effective, so we can use this, something like that."
That
So
is our love language actually. Roblox.
yeah,
That's lovely.
we,
Yes.
we kill
So,
monsters, we overcome obstacles, something like that. But it's part of the bonding moment. So that's
it
why
is. It is.
we also, I think we also mentioned that in the book. I think that's the
Yeah.
story.
Yes.
So, what are the common challenges and struggles that you experience as parents? And how did y'all address and cope with it?
Can you tell them what happened in the battle?
Oh
They
wait,
were supposed
okay,
to.
that's a very that question is actually very memorable.
Mhm.
It's a very profound memory. Okay. My son was accused of hitting someone. It's like this. There was one time I came home, and then the security where we live, the security personnel of where we live, approached me and then told me, "Sir, your son apparently hurt someone." Then I asked, "Which one?" Because we have two kids. The eldest, Kuya,
Bunso
and
and the
Bunso.
youngest.
Bunso was the one with autism. So my Kuya was with me because we came from work. We came from school. I came from work, so we went in together. And then on the front desk, we were told that apparently one of my sons, definitely not Kuya, hurt someone.
Why?
And then I asked, so who's the complainant? And then a lady came out, approached us, and they started complaining so many things. Apparently, my son threw a water bottle to a person jogging on the on a particular area where we live.
Okay.
And apparently, that man was hit by the bottle. And then apparently, according to the lady, my son threw the
Drop
bottle,
from
dropped the bottle
from the window
from the window
while we were sleeping.
while we were sleeping at that particular where we were sleeping. And then I asked, so I need to investigate. So we went home, and then I inquired. So I asked my son Bunso, Bunso, did you hurt someone? And then he just looked at me. By the time he was already verbal, he can speak, he can express himself. And then he just looked at me, and then he said, "No, Papa, just play Roblox." That's the word.
And then what happened
And then what?
was
After the investigation, I was told by the security person that it's impossible for my son to throw the bottle at that particular angle. But what I did was I went to the old lady. Then I asked her, why did you tell the security person that my son threw the bottle?
and she said that nobody would do that except my son because my son was crazy.
And that's it.
Yes.
Yes. And then she said, because your son has a condition.
And he's crazy.
Uh,
She said
and no, it's in
in Filipino,
he used a particular word in Filipino.
may diferensya yung anak mo. That
Uh,
means he's crazy
yeah,
in
in
English.
English, something like that.
Um,
And
and you see that we're smiling while telling you this story, but actually during that time, it really
it
hurt us
hurts.
so much.
Yeah, obviously.
Mhm.
And so, like, you said that people have been accepting, as well as there are people like this particular lady.
Yes,
So,
yes.
how is it now? Because it's been quite a number of years. Has it improved, or is it still the same with
Well,
y'all's neighbors and all?
Mhm.
what we did was we actually filed a formal complaint we followed the process of the law, and then it was resolved. Um, that's only one of the that's only one case, but most of the people that we've met,
Most people have
most
been
of the people
accepting
that we've
and
been
good.
in
Okay.
touch with, they are accepting, they
Okay.
are very accommodating, and it helps when we talk to them. We educate them on why
Yeah.
is my son like this, what is his condition, and in the process, in the process of doing that, in our area, we started he started he's not being shunned upon. He's accepted as he is, and it helped him a lot because back then he would have meltdowns,
Tantrums.
tantrums in public. Nowadays he doesn't do that
Yeah.
anymore.
Okay.
He knows that when he goes down, he is accepted, that there is a place for him to make mistakes, and we also constantly process it with him, and it really helps if the environment, if the people around
Are
are
accepting.
accepting and
That
let
plays
him
such a
know
big
his
part in it as well.
Yes. That's the reason why we wrote this book also, so that we could educate people about our experiences and also our struggles and our triumphs about taking care of our son with autism. Taking care of our son with autism is not just about challenges and trials. Being parents of a child with diagnosed with autism help us to become better persons. And
It's complete.
it's not just about challenges. It's not just about struggles.
True.
Um, we became one as a family. We became closer, and it became an avenue for us to learn new stuff and to gain more experiences that no family could ever experience. And that's the beauty of having an autistic child within the family.
True.
and what we actually did was we make it a point that we don't feel offended whenever we
Mm-mm.
meet people who are hostile or who are what they call this, critical of our son. What we did was we we make it a point to share what we know, to share in a subtle way, little by little.
Yeah.
And before we knew it, they would be accepting us. They would be more understanding because they learned something. Ganun pala. They would say, oh, it's like that.
Yeah.
So that's why. So we make it our, how to say it,
Advocacy.
advocacy
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
to share and just inform people that there's such thing as this, and it can happen to anyone, but we don't wish for you to have it, something
And
like
it's
that.
not the end of the world.
And it's not the end of the world if you have a child with autism,
Yes.
because many
true. True.
both of us are educators, and we've been in the teaching profession for a long time. I've been teaching for the last 2 decades, and in my line of work,
It's a
I've
long time.
seen so many kids who were not given the chance to shine because people around them judged them for
We're
who
not
they were.
accepted.
They were not accepted, and it's so hard when there is a gap between the family, the school, and the environment.
Yeah.
Uh, Such wasted potential,
Yes.
such wasted memories. So that's why we are very keen in just informing people of of the things that we know, and we continuously learn so that we may refine what we share.
Yes.
So a lot of parenting an autistic child is also keeping an open mindset, right?
Yes.
And just being willing to learn on your own. Yeah. So, would you like to read something from your book? A paragraph or anything?
uh, Wait, we only have the digital copy since the printed ones.
Okay.
We still don't have the paperback. But
Okay.
let me take this opportunity to like for those who are watching to kindly support our book and share it with people who are at the moment having difficulties with their setup, for having a child with special needs, or for having a child with autism. This is a culmination of our experiences and how we did things. It might not work on your end, but most importantly is what we wanted to share is how the mindset that we had, how we developed the mindset,
It's a
how we
process.
the process of developing the
Yeah.
mindset and the idea that comes with it, and of course the principles and techniques that we employed. It might not apply to you, but the point is it can serve as a platform for further, how do you say it, learning, so that you will have a guide on what to look for and where to look. uh,
That's lovely. So, are you all working on anything at the moment, like to follow up with this book or anything new?
I'm sorry. uh Probably probably
Yeah.
we're we actually had we had some ideas uh which is related to this, but at the moment it's still under we under what do you call this, consideration, since it really takes a lot to write something like this. We were actually not we were actually very surprised when we were invited to write, and it was only our aim, our only purpose is just to share, and probably someone out there would benefit from it, like a child would benefit from it because probably his father would be more accepting, or a mom would realize how much they have to step up, or something like that.
True. True.
It's more on the helping side. We are not after anything. We're just for the mere purpose of sharing and educating people.
Educating. Yeah. Okay.
If I may read
Yes,
some
please.
excerpts from the book. Um, this came from the chapter about love. I guess that he sees all that we do as acts of love. As years pass, he becomes more and more affectionate, sweet, and loving. His attention seeking behaviors diminish little by little. There was one time when Papa asked him, Bunso, why do you love me? And we were surprised when he answered, I love you because I love you. I guess it means that for Bunso, love needs no explanations, no buts, no ifs. For him, love is love, plain and simple. For him, both the quantity and quality of time that we give him are acts of love, and he does his very best to reciprocate by being the most sweet and affectionate little boy that he is right now.
That's lovely.
Um,
So that's where you all got the title from?
yes, because
That's
for
beautiful. I
him,
was about
for
to
him,
ask you all about.
for him, it's plain and simple. He loves us because he
Yeah.
loves us. That's how they think. Autistic kids think that way. They
Yeah.
think that they think um everything as
His father.
literally as it means. So that's where we got our title. Our son, our eldest son, was the one who designed the book cover. That's Kuya. We
Yes.
yes,
That's
we
lovely. I've
both
got
of us.
this here. Can you all see it?
Yes. Yes, thank you. And
So
the book is about Bunso, our youngest, and both of us wrote the story. So it's a family affair actually.
that's lovely.
Thank you.
So the cover art, does it have any significance?
The cover.
The
Yes, it
cover.
has. Yes, it
My
has.
eldest son, Kuya, we gave him the leeway to the freedom to design, and then he told us, why not use an apple? We're going to put apples representing kids or individuals, and we're going to put
One
one apple with
different.
a one different.
That's lovely.
Everyone is the same. They're all children, but my brother is different.
Yes.
the only apple with a color, a
Mhm.
multitude of color.
That's
That's why
lovely.
And the photo was
That's
really cute.
beautiful.
I, it was
That's
the
beautiful.
that the concept was designed by
Thank
my.
you.
And let me add to what my wife was saying about the title of
Yeah.
the book. Kids with autism, they mirror what you show
Show
them.
them.
If
Yes.
you show them hostility, they will be hostile to you.
Because they take everything literally, that's why.
If you share, they will share. If you are angry, they will be
They'll,
angry.
yes.
They mirror everything. And the sad part is, the sad part or beautiful part, depending on the situation, when they are given a stimuli to mirror, that stimuli repeats,
Yes.
continues to repeat inside their head. That's why they do a particular act where in their repeat
That's
example,
palilal, yeah.
they would say, yes, that's palilalya. They let's say you told him, this apple is sweet, and then he remembered that it's sweet. Oh, the apple is sweet. The apple is sweet. The apple is sweet. Papa, the apple is sweet. It's sweet. It's up. The apple is sweet. They will continuously repeat it because it's a memory, a good memory. If it's a bad
Yeah.
memory, it's the same. So they
Okay.
echo and then they repeat over and over again. So for us, looking at that particular act, it's tiring. It's very tiring. Can you imagine if there are
Yeah.
like 10 stimuli?
Understandable.
So you have to teach our son good values, good behavior, so that those behaviors will be mirrored by him.
Yeah.
That's why we're very careful with what we say to him and we choose our words because um, basically kids with autism spectrum disorder have photographic memory.
Yeah.
So we we see mirroring as an opportunity for us to teach him the right things and good values and morals.
Yeah.
There is a uh, they call this principle in teaching wherein you maximize what you have. And for our son, we know that we won't be living forever. At some point, we will die, and he would, if we follow the normal set of the normal flow of things, he is younger than us, then probably he would die ahead. He would go ahead. Now, what will happen to him when we're not here anymore? So we always have that question. So for us, we have to teach him how to live on his own, to be independent. And
Independent.
how can he be independent? He can be independent by utilizing what he has. So the learning process must come from him, and we have to teach it to him. One of the key conditions of having autism is mirroring. They mirror what they see. If they can be taught to harness that potential, then that would be a key tool. Instead of being a condition that would define them, it would be a condition that would enable them to learn. But of course, we have to teach them how to do it,
Yeah.
and that's where we come in as parents, and that's where teaching principles and learnings, researches comes in.
It's lovely. So, final few questions. Do you all have any advice for parents who are coping with similar situations?
It's really challenging to have kids with special needs, not just autism. But if they anchor their mindset or they change their mindset, everything will flow out smoothly. If they see their kid as who he is and not what he does, everything will be okay. Let love flow from your heart so that you can see your kids as lovely and as good as they are. So it all starts with love and acceptance, and everything else will follow.
Yeah, yeah, that's precisely my point. Everything that we did uh, with our son boils down on one thing: we first accepted. No conditions. We didn't ask why. We never had that luxury, or we never allowed ourselves to ask that question, like why is it like this, why was I given a son like this, why is he like this, and so on and so on. No, we did not do that. What we always do is, what does he need, what does he has, and what can we do. And you can only do that if you accept unconditionally.
If
No,
you love
no
unconditionally,
conditions,
yes.
no, no, nothing, just pure and simple. You're here, he is here with us, he has a need, we can provide that need. If we don't have that, if we cannot provide it, then we're going to learn about it and then find a way to give it to him. And in the process, we'll teach him how to overcome that need. uh, and it all boils down to love.
And
uh,
love.
it's
Unconditional love in particular, and
yeah, unconditional love.
unconditional acceptance.
Yeah,
It
that's it.
is. So that's all for today, Sharon and Hector. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining
Thank you
us.
very much.
Give our love to your family. It's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
family.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Same to
And for
you.
thank you. And for those of you watching, the book link and info will be in the description box. And thank you for joining us. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.